Hey everybody, it's Patricia Dacre with Better Diabetes Life, and I honestly was going to come on live, and I don't know what's up with my internet, but it wouldn't work. So we are going to pivot and change it up, and I'm going to record this and then hopefully publish it later. Who knows? But this is kind of why I'm coming on right now. So, this whole isolation thing is really getting to me, and I don't know why today, but today's a crazy, just it all hit me. So I thought, you know what, I would come on here and talk about it, and then share some tips with things that that I'm going to do and I have been doing to kind of, change things up a bit and hopefully fix my mood or give me some new perspective. So that's the first thing. So even though I'm a coach, right, and I work with people on mindset and helping them kind of see new ways around things, that doesn't mean that equals a life without trouble or struggle. Certainly that's part of it. What it does mean though is maybe I have a few things in my bag of tricks that can help me get moving again. And so I thought, you know what, in a day where I'm down, I'll share those with you. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So coaching isn't a panacea. It doesn't erase your problems. Really, it just helps you deal with them a little bit differently. Let's see. And so when we think about coaching, I always take a holistic approach. So it's your body, mind, and your spirit. So right now, I think my mind's the part that's having struggle. There's just a lot of negativity, a lot of frustration. I'm feeling it in my body, and it's evidenced by my blood sugars. I've really had the last 4 or 5 days have been kind of crazy, right? They've been high. I've hardly been eating. I've been, bolusing. I keep thinking, am I sick? But I don't feel sick. I just kind of feel flat. And honestly, I think it is just the stress of everything. So your body and your mind and your spirit are all connected, and that's how we're going to pull things back together and give us a little bit more firm foundation and understanding. And I'm going to be looking at my notes. So I think the thing that we'll start with is how we're all the same but different, because when we talk about all these ideas and tools and ways of handling problems, they're all rooted in this idea that we're the same, right? There's things that will work for everyone, but at the same time, we all approach it very differently. So if we're talking about diabetes, we all have a problem with glucose regulation, right? And so whether you're type 1 or type 2, there's different medications, different things. But at the end of the day, we all have to be mindful of our food, mindful of our blood sugar, monitoring and checking, trying to have consistent activity, watching all the other aspects of our life that we have to keep in track. So it's the same, yet it's different. What works for me doesn't work for you. Obviously, type 2s and type 1s are very different. Gestational is different. So we all have diabetes, yes, but we're all different. And I think those differences are where we miss the mark sometimes, because we compare ourselves to others and we feel like we should be doing it the same. And so that's not true. Same goes for your mind. So that's kind of your body. Talk a little bit about how your body works. Glucose doesn't work, but we all do it differently. Our mind, we are all predispositioned for negativity. And that means that at our most basic brain level, our brain stem function and some of our lower centers of thinking, we have what we call a reptilian brain. And that is the part of your brain that is instinctual, that's looking for trouble, that's trying to stay alive. It's the survival part of you. And that part of you is always on the alert, and it's always looking for the bad stuff. I've been reading, I'm following a man named Rick Henson, and he's been talking about how that we're biased towards negativity, and that those feelings and those thoughts stick more, right? So we're always going to notice the bad stuff because it could be dangerous. So if all we ever notice is bad, that's not very fun. So we have to be intentional, right, about looking at the good. So if we go back to just one emotion, fear, right? We all have fear. And right now with this COVID stuff, it's, are we going to get it? When's it going to be over? How long is this going to last? What's going to happen to my job? Our finances, our kids, school, the world, you can spiral. And I've actually had to take myself kind of out of that a little bit. But, we can get in this place where fear is all that we can think of. And that has mental, physical, and spiritual impact. So what we have to do is we have to get some counterbalance to that with some good stuff, right? So we have to take some time. So this morning I used before all this, I did yoga 3 to 4 times a week religiously. I did a lot of meditation and mindfulness stuff. Um, just with homeschooling and changes and trying to change up my business, dealing with clients, all that stuff, it just feels like that has gotten pushed by the wayside, and I notice it. So, today I did yoga again, and it was amazing how good it made me feel, but B, how much I notice the emotions that are stored in your body, right? That stretching and moving, it actually helps bring your mental and your physical health together. So we're gonna do, let's see, a little exercise I have, and so this is, kind of fun, but to balance these things takes intention. You can't just say, I want to balance, and it balances. It doesn't work that way. So what we have to do is find some insight and inner wisdom. So if right now our reptilian, crazy, egocentric, afraid brain is controlling most of our thoughts and our actions, we have to get over to the other side and let that kinder, wiser part of us have a say. So I invite you to do this little meditation with me. So I'm going to be reading mostly. But what we're going to do is just explore some things. And again, this process, I'll say the same words to each of you. Your experience will be vastly different. And that's because each of us brings something different. So you have different fears, different worries, different history, right, behind you that makes you believe one thing over another, feel one way over another. And so even though we'll be doing the same thing, you'll have a different experience than anyone else. And that's how it should be. That's what we want. Okay, so we're going to get yourself comfortable. If you need to pause this, and I would say make sure that you have a moment to be quiet and get yourself in a comfortable place. You don't want to be cold. Get a blanket if you need it. So we're going to get in a nice comfortable place, and I want you to close your eyes and then just listen to my voice. I don't want you to watch the video. I really just want you to listen. And I want you to decide that right now you are going to relax, that it's time, that you deserve kind of to take a break, get out of your busy head, and relax, and give yourself permission to sit here with me and actually give your attention to it. So the first thing we'll do is breathing. And breathing is such a simple thing, makes such a big difference, but we often find ourselves kind of resistant to doing it. So I would ask, if you're resistant and you think this might not work, give it a shot. Give yourself permission to try. So breathing, actually, from a physiological standpoint, can stimulate one of the nerves in your abdomen, and that actually helps bring down your heart rate, lower your blood pressure, and bring calm. The act of breathing stimulates a lot of other nerves too that allow you to let go of tension. So we're going to breathe a little bit and be open to it. So now that you're comfortable, I want you to take a deep breath and expand into your belly. And this is not the time for flat abs. Let your belly get really giant big. That's how you stimulate those nerves. Inhale just a little bit more, stretch. And now drop your shoulders and relax as you exhale. And imagine the stress that comes out of your breath like a black cloud seeping from you, flowing out of you. We'll do that again. Take a big deep breath in, expanding fully into your belly, and hold it. And then sigh it out. Let those shoulders drop. Imagine stress flowing from you. One more time. Breathe in. Big deep breath. And hold it. There you go. Let it go. Hopefully that's a little bit of a softer state. Letting a few things go, relaxing. Unclench your jaw. Let your shoulders relax. And I want you to lie back. And I want you to pretend that you're watching a movie of your life right now. So you're sitting in a dark movie theater, and on the screen you're watching yourself. I want you to notice your worries. Notice your fear. Can you see yourself interacting with others? What emotions are on your face? Do you sense frustration? Do you need something that you're not getting? Can you see yourself in isolation in your home, not being able to go out, and lost freedom? Do you see yourself with a routine that doesn't look like it used to? What else do you notice about you on the big screen? Maybe some uncertainty about when all this will be over and when you will feel safe again. I'm going to let you sit for a moment, watch the movie, notice what you see, notice what's going on in your life, and look at you as if you're from outside looking in. So as you look at this worried and afraid self who might be struggling right now, I want you to notice what stage of life this person may be in. Not right now, but the character on the screen. Could they be a fearful and self-conscious teen? A vulnerable small child looking for someone to take care of them? A rebellious young adult not wanting to follow the rules? A stressed new parent trying to figure it all out and not sure what's the proper or the right way to do it? Are you a struggling single person on your own with no one to turn to? There might be other characters in your life as you look back. You might have people in your life, meaning yourself, that were hurt at some point, that were scared, that struggled. As you watch the movie of yourself, can you see any of these former selves on the screen? What version of yourself are you seeing? I'll give you some time to think about this, but just watch the movie. There's no right or wrong way. All you're doing is stepping out of the moment, watching yourself from third perspective, and being curious about how you're acting and how that may be tied to previous versions of yourself. As you watch the movie and you consider who's on the screen, what would you want to say to them? Can you see anything that you know they're doing differently? Is it a pattern of previous behavior? Is it a known struggle that's bubbling up to the surface again? Repeated behavior. Do you have any idea why the character on the movie screen is behaving as they are? And what would you want to tell this earlier version of yourself? I've often thought we go back and we look at the past of, if I only would have known when I was 20 or 30, what we would have said. So right now in this moment, it's the same. You have the opportunity to look at yourself and wonder and be curious about what you might say to yourself now. So I want you to know that as you have shifted from the central figure in the movie to a person watching the movie, you've shifted into your unique and wise inner self. So we've gotten out of reptilian fear brain and we've put distance between that person and this inner wise person. They both always exist. This little exercise helps you create distance and notice patterns, behaviors, things that you probably already know are true, but a lot of times we get lost in the moment. So if we are all alike in our worry, that we have worry, we're all very different in this knowing wise self, because this person, this part of you, has been with you since the beginning. They know your truth, they know your secrets, They know the things you may not want the rest of the world to know. But they also know what you need. So as you do this exercise, what you want to tell yourself, tell that person on the screen, is the voice of your calm, understanding, and this older, wiser version of yourself that knows what you need. And it's always there. So all we did was tap into it. So that feels kind of weird. And what do you do with that? You're watching yourself, you have feelings and emotions, and you see yourself on this screen, and perhaps you're struggling. I want you to imagine that person who's watching the movie reaching out to the character on the screen, pulling them close and placing their arm around their shoulder, and comforting you with the words that you need to hear. So the person watching the movie knows what you need to hear, and they know what will make you feel better. So your job now is to receive those words and receive that comfort from this other part of yourself. So what is this person saying? Sometimes we try to get it right, and there is no right or wrong answer. And sometimes it's confusing at first because this actually takes some practice. But perhaps they're saying, you've got this. Perhaps you are stronger than you think. Perhaps they are saying, you will learn and grow. Perhaps they're saying, maybe stop struggling and it's okay to let go right now. Maybe they show you what to do next or who to ask for help. Or perhaps you need to help. Whatever comes to mind is okay. There's no right or wrong answer, and this version of you can be trusted and knows how to help and wants you to be at peace. The interesting part is the choice is always yours if you decide to follow the instructions. So no pressure, no threats. That information, whatever you've thought, whatever words or feelings came to you, they're yours to do with as you wish. So the movie's over, and I want you to take a few more deep breaths and just relax. Notice how you feel. Do you feel wiser? Are you the person on the screen? Are you the person watching the movie, or somewhere in the middle? It's all okay. Hopefully this little exercise puts you more in a relaxed state. After I close the video, I want you to sit with this feeling for a while and allow it to sink in to every pore in your body. Whatever you're feeling right now, just let it be with you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change it. Just give yourself permission to sit with it for a minute. And when you're done, I'd invite you to write some of this down, because it will fade away quickly, right? What did you see in the movie about yourself? What did the person watching the movie want you to know? Write these things down. Then you can revisit them later. So we'll wrap up right there. So I'm going to finish as we kind of come back to present, and you wonder, what does this have to do with diabetes, right? So what we just did is a little coaching exercise that gets you out of your mind, a little bit more away from your body and into your spirit. And those three things are kind of in balance now, as we've noticed these different things. We can do these similar exercises with diabetes education. And it's really not education about me. It's more, what do you need to do next? And these are some tools that we can tap into, because you're the best one who knows about you. No one else knows everything. And so a lot of times we think of diabetes as a linear process: eat food, glucose, insulin, cells. That could not be further from the truth. We are a system, so we're interconnected. Think of us like a bundle of spaghetti, right? So we eat, we digest. There are many, many chemicals and hormones and digestive enzymes that take place, each one signaling and causing many other changes in the whole digestive system, including not just your body, but your emotions and how you feel, your spirit. And so what we're doing with diabetes is we're attempting to control food, insulin, and blood sugar. We're controlling three variables of a very, very complex system. You are the only one that knows your system. You know what feels good, what feels bad, if you're anxious, if it tastes good, if it feels wrong. There's all these different things that are coming together. So again, it's this mind, body, spirit part where you can help yourself figure out what to do next. So I'm pulling that back into the moment with just frustration. So right now, frustration is definitely causing stress on my life, and it's impacting my blood sugars. So I'm going to use these other tools to kind of get in touch with different parts of myself to try to bring things back in balance, lower the stress, bring peace within the body and calmness within the mind. So that was a long little exercise we did. But, I hope it's helpful. It's helpful for me. So I know when I'm struggling, it's often nice to share with someone else. And I will leave that with you. You can always repeat this. You can do this as many times as you want. And you can do it on your own. This is just a little tool that's helpful. So I will sign off, and I want you all to be well and be healthy and happy. And we'll talk again soon.